What is up YouTube? It's your boy Floyd Fade Weather, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to use your best Barber Alive airbrush gun. This is the wave, guys. I know you guys been waiting for it, so I'm going to show you guys how to use it today. Now the first thing that you want to do is obviously you want to make sure that your unit is plugged in and charged up. When you get it out of the box, make sure that you charge it up, so that way you know that it's working properly. Okay, as you can see here, the plug goes right into the front of the unit. You look on the wall, it should be indicated with a green light. Okay, that way you know that your unit is charging. I would recommend charging it for at least an hour, maybe an hour and a half before using it, but you can use it right out of the box. Okay, now the next thing that I would recommend doing is just checking out your airbrush gun, making sure that your pieces are nice and tight there. The back end right here, this is where you kind of lock in your setting for your trigger action. The more you tighten it, the less trigger play you get, and the more you loosen it, the less trigger play, or the more trigger play you get. So you can play around with that until you get the right type of setting that you like. Okay, then when you look at the front right here, the front, you don't really want to take that off a whole bunch because the tip of the needle is right there, but that serves for two purposes. One, it's like the diameter of how much your airbrush gun is going to spray out. Okay, let me focus in a little bit here. Okay, so I put bigger nozzles on there because for what we do in the barber industry, we use the hair dye, which is a little bit thicker. So I wanted to make sure that you guys got a bigger diameter to make sure that that spray comes out perfectly. Okay, and the other purpose is to cover that needle, which is very, very delicate. Okay, so you don't want to play around with that too much. All right, now this right here, this covers the actual needle. Okay, as you can see right here, I'm pulling on it. There you go, that's like the little needle right there. The trigger pulls it back, which brings the needle into the body and allows the dye to come out of the front of the gun or the unit. Okay, so I say this stuff because later on I'm going to show you guys how to clean it, and you're going to have to know these things in order to clean your unit, guys. So you definitely don't want to be letting buildup get up in there, because you will mess up your airbrush gun. That way you won't be able to use it until you clean it out. Okay, so up here, this is your feeder. This is where you insert your dye, your mixture, your formula. Okay, you're gonna put that right there into the mixer cup. I'll show you guys in another video exactly how to mix the dye. This video is just gonna be just for showing you guys how to use the actual airbrush gun. But you're gonna put your dye in there. Make sure you put your top back on there, nice and tight. Not everybody uses the top, but I recommend using the top because you never know, like you might accidentally knock it over, or it might bubble up and come out of there or something like that. So make sure you keep the top on. All right, the front right here, that's your power button. All right, I mean, pretty straightforward. Press it, the unit comes on. Press it again, the unit turns off. All right, people have asked, like, what's the power like on it, man. These things spray out really, really nice, and I'm actually going to show you in a little bit how these things spray and what they should be spraying like. Okay, so when you get yours, you want to make sure that the sprayer is actually spraying the way that it's supposed to. So I'll show you guys that here right now. Okay, so what I've done, I've come over to the shampoo bowl. I recommend that you do this before you put any dye in it, just to make sure that your unit is working properly. Go over to your shampoo bowl. Okay, you don't have to use alcohol. Put some water inside of the funnel here, inside of the cup. put some water in there, or maybe some alcohol if you want to. I'm just using alcohol just because, but put some alcohol in there and turn on your airbrush gun. You're gonna hear and you're gonna feel just air coming out of the gun, okay, in the beginning when you turn it on. That's perfectly normal. The next thing that you want to do is you want to actually pull back on the trigger. I'll show you that here in a second, but pull back on the trigger and watch the air, or watch the liquid come out. So if you look really closely, you can see something coming out. That's just air, okay? If you can't see it, don't worry about it. But when I pull back on the trigger, you'll start to see here, that's the actual alcohol coming out. You see that spraying right there? I'll try and zoom in a little bit, or zoom out so you guys can see that, right? That is what your unit should be doing. That's what your airbrush gun should be doing. I didn't put a whole lot of alcohol in it, so it ran out. But that's what your airbrush gun should be doing. It should be spraying out a nice fine mist just like that, okay? And when you let go of the trigger, all you should hear is the air again. Okay, so that's what you want to do before you even put any dye into it, guys. Okay, so the next step, we'll go back over to the station. All right, now I'm at my station again, and I'll show you what it's supposed to look like when it's coming out of the airbrush gun. Now right here I have my own little formulation that I'm working on. I'm still working on my formulation, guys. You guys can work on it, but a basic rule is basically 1 part dye, 2 parts alcohol. Okay, if you can get 99% alcohol, use that. All right, a lot of people are using Kiss Express. I would recommend Kiss Express. There is some Beijing. I'm still working on that. Plus I'm working on some other stuff. So, you know, you guys just play around with it until you get it right. But 2 parts alcohol, 1 part Beijing, okay, or Kiss Express. All right. So I'll show you guys right here on this napkin, on this paper towel, the way that it should be spraying out. Here we go. All right, you guys see that? It's a nice mist coming out of there. Boom. Okay, and the further away that you are from the person's head, the, you know, like the more spread out the dye is going to be. The closer that you get to the person's head, the finer the line is going to be. All right, so I'll kind of show you. Now what I'm doing right here is I'm just kind of tightening that cap just to make sure that it's good. All right, as you don't want that to pop off or anything like that. All right, so let's go back and I'll show you guys. I'll put some more dye in here real quick. All right, bear with me. And it doesn't take a whole lot of dye, guys. Like, you do not have to fill the whole cup up, you know, because you don't want to have dye just sitting in there drying up, you know what I mean, like in between cuts. You want to make sure that you use everything on that one haircut. All right, so here I have the airbrush gun really close to the paper towel. As you can see, I have fine lines coming out, right? It's not spread out like it was in the beginning, right? So boom, you can see here a little bit mistier, and then when you get closer, you know, the lines are a lot harder. Okay, so just stand, I guess stand about, I don't know, maybe a few inches away from the client's head, and spray it. You know, I mean, you'll get the feel of it though. You'll definitely get the feel of it. It's not hard at all, guys. Not hard at all. Okay, and you want to make sure that you have the right color for the right or for each individual's head. You don't want to be putting like a light brown like this on somebody that has, you know, blonde hair, or you know, maybe even jet black hair. I don't know. You know what I mean? You got to find the right color for the client that you're dealing with. Okay. Now, for any reason your gun starts to clog up and it's not spraying the way that it should, I'll show you in another video how to take it apart, how to put it back together. The first time that you take it apart can be a little, you know, overwhelming. but trust me, it's not difficult. You know, once you start to put it back together, you'll get the hang of it. It's basically only 4 or 5 steps to it. You know, it's not hard at all. Okay, so there we go. That is how, you know, you're gonna spray the unit. You know, as you can see, the unit works perfectly. This particular unit, you know, I love it because it's got some weight on it. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel cheap and plasticky or anything like that. Not knocking anybody else's, you know, or anything like that. No, there ain't no hate over here. But I love mine because, you know, they just feel like quality. You know what I mean? Like, they're really good quality. The way that I hold mine, as you can see, I'm choked up on the actual gun. I got my finger on the trigger right there, and you know, that's how I do it. That's the easiest way I find to do it. So you guys can, you know, try it the way that you want to. That's the way that it works best for me. Okay, and pretty much that's it. I mean, to clean out the gun, what I'm doing right now, I put alcohol in there. I put the alcohol in there, and I'm just spraying it out until there's no more dye left in there. Okay, I'm making sure that the paper towel is showing that there's no more dye left in, and after that I'll do a quick wipe out with a napkin on the inside of the cup, and that's pretty much it, guys. So if you enjoy this video, please give me a like, a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure that you hit that notification bell, so that way you get notified every time we release a video. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.